5 common but very difficult questions that you will receive during your PA interview. So stay tuned and watch the whole video for all the questions and all the answers. We are rolling into question number 1. How has your background prepared you for the intense physical and mental training to be a PA? So this question is pretty straightforward. They want to know what past experiences you have gone through which will help you to get through PA school. Have you gone through things that are similar to PA school and you got through that and you succeeded? Have you gone through mental or physical or emotional issues similar that you will experience in PA school and you got through the other end? Or you're doing, undergrad and you experienced all these issues, but you still pulled through and persevered through undergrad. When you are preparing to answer this question, when you're planning in your interview prep right now, you really want to think of those types of experiences. How I answered this question was in a couple parts. One of them was how I did an accelerated EMT course, which was a month long, which is usually 6 months long. So in a way, it's kind of like a mini PA school. So I kind of compared how that experience was similar to PA school and the issues that I came across while in that EMT course and the other things that I had to sacrifice in order to succeed and be at the top of my class in my EMT course and ultimately be an EMT. So I related that experience to how I will succeed in PA school, things I've done in the past. I have also talked about how I was a residential assistant, an RA, in college and how I balanced that and having 2 other jobs while taking an excessive course load. I'm talking about like 20 credits, max credits. Every other semester I'd have to get approval from my academic advisor to take more credits. So while balancing all that, my time was spent completely. Of course, sacrifices had to be made with relationships, social life. Sometimes my health, I'd have to miss the gym every now and then, but I related that as well to an experience which prepared me to succeed into PA school because I've already gone through something very similar. I did the 25 credit semester after semester after semester in undergrad, and then I did the EMT course, which was a mini PA school. Fast forward, you will experience when you make it to PA school, and I can tell you for a fact, I'm in PA school right now, and this is what I'm experiencing. It's a lot. It's only the 3rd week. It's very important to be mentally, physically, emotionally, everything prepared to succeed in PA school. So when you're planning to answer this question, when you are prepping, think about, of course, difficult things that you have gone through undergrad that you can relate, or even outside of undergrad. If you're balancing multiple jobs and you did your major and you got a good GPA through undergrad, you're a president of this club, you're in this fraternity, you went on these trips, all these things happen in your family or etc. Don't be afraid to make it personal. It doesn't have to be completely just professional and work and what you did in school. Incorporate other things in your life because when you're in PA school, it's not just school you're dealing with, it's life. We're always going to be dealing with life. So don't be afraid to make it a little bit personal. And if you still have time and you're an undergrad, you have a couple more years until you apply to PA school, or you're doing a gap year, use this time to apply yourself, to go and push beyond your bounds of what you normally do. So when they do ask this question, and for lots of other reasons as well, but you have a solid answer for it. You can go out there and say, I did X, Y, Z, W, A, B, C, D during this year, during undergrad, and I persevered, I pushed through, and I still got A's, I still did this. It was tough. There's gonna be times you're not gonna like it, but it will prepare you for PA school, and you will thank yourself that you did that. You will thank yourself that you watched this video and you took that advice and you pushed yourself, because now you're in PA school, and when you're crying and breaking down, you're gonna think, wow, this reminds me of all those other times I cried and broke down because that dude on YouTube told me to do this crazy that I can't even handle. Question number 2, what are the most significant issues PAs face right now? So of course, the basic answer is always going to be those popular, hot topic, hot button issues within the PA world. There's going to be the name change from physician assistant to physician associate. There's going to be OTP, optimal team practice, baby. There's going to be that. And there's a plethora of other kind of, popular hot button issues in the PA world. But what is really going to make your answer land on this question, or a variant of this question, is when you relate it to a personal experience from someone, a PA who you worked with, or something that you personally experienced as an MA and EMT, and how you've seen that happen to other PAs, or how you see that continuing to happen when you're a PA. think outside the box, but you make it personal to your experience, to who you are, to what you went through, to the PA you worked with. So let's give you a bomb example of how you can answer this question. Like I said earlier, I said physician assistant, change the name to physician associate. If you haven't heard about this, or even if you did, you can check out my video where I break it down, the significance of it in like 4 minutes, right up there or there. But you can use that to your answer. Now you can incorporate yourself to make this personalized. So the interviewer really gets a grasp of how this issue impacts you currently and how it will in the future as a PA and PAs right now, and how ultimately you can work towards fixing this issue possibly. So sometimes PAs will come across some issues with patients because their name has the word assistant in it. And even, like I said in the video that I made, I talk about this, but even employers or sometimes, other medical workers, not so much. It's usually like employers and patients who have this trip up with PAs and what we do and who we are because there's that word assistant in there. For example, physician assistant David Hansen and I were seeing the patient in the room for a stubbed toe. Physician assistant David introduced himself, and patient with the stubbed toe giving him a weird look as I stood by, waiting to take my notes as a scribe or to assist as an MA. Then the patient hit David with, "I want to see the doctor, not an assistant." David tried to explain what a PA is and how he's here to help. Patient was still stubborn and didn't care. While I sat back and witnessed this whole thing unfold, which is crazy because I want to be a PA, and this is the first time I've ever seen this happen, and then I looked this up, and then it's actually kind of like a big issue that a lot of PAs run into with patients. But physician assistant David Hansen handled this like a G, and he was able to get the patient to comply and understand what a PA is, and the patient left feeling on top of the world, and he only wants to see physician assistant David Hansen. He doesn't want to see nobody else no more because PA David was so awesome. And as I sat back scribing, that's when I realized, wow, I want to be just like David Hansen when I'm a PA. There you have it, man. It's really that easy. You can find a hot button, hot topic fire issue, and then you just personalize it. But what really sends the message home is how you overcome this issue. It's one thing to recognize something that's wrong and to talk about it, but you don't want your answer to come off as you're complaining. You want to recognize the issue and present a solution, or recognize the issue, see something that has worked before from that PA you worked with or from a PA you spoke with, and you want to replicate that. You want to acknowledge that you will face this issue as a PA, but it's completely okay. You are ready for it. It doesn't hurt your ego or anything like that. You have a plan, a course of action already before you even start PA school, because they will prepare you for stuff like this in PA school. But as of right now, you do have a plan of action of how to deal with it in your mind as a professional to get patients to comply and use this as the opportunity of patient education. Boom, vocab word, throw that into your answer and they will absolutely love you. That's definitely 2 points for you on your interview sheet if you say patient education, using this opportunity to educate patients. Question 3, what is the relationship between the PA and the MD? So real quick, I'm gonna break it down. The relationship between the MD and a PA, it varies state by state, the position you're in as a PA, specialty field, the type of physician you're working with, type of PA you are. There are some regulations, such as, meeting up once a week, once a month. Sometimes you gotta work with them in person. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you gotta work with them every single day. Sometimes you have to talk to them every single day. Sometimes you have to talk to them once a year, in person or not in person. It really depends on your state. When you're answering this question, you really wanna use the word collaboration, because that is what we do as PAs with MDs. We collaborate. Now that we understand exactly what that is and how we wanna say collaboration when we are working in this relationship with MDs, I also wanna talk about why and what we like about this relationship. So personally for me, I talked about how, I would love the mentorship from the MD. They have more schooling than I do. They specialize in a certain field. They most likely have decades more experience than I do. They're like a human textbook of an entire specialty that I will be working in. And so having that mentor to not always go to, because you want to be able to stand on your 2 feet. But when it comes to the more complex stuff in like continuing your education, that MD relationship as a PA is so awesome and so vital. Something that a lot of people kind of take for granted. I'm not completely a PA yet, I'm still a PA student, but I do look forward to that relationship, and hopefully me and the MD I work with are pretty cool and we have a good relationship and I can learn a lot from him. Oh, everybody hates this question. Question number 4. Tell us about yourself. This is absolutely one of the worst questions of all time. I was asked this question at McDonald's. I was asked this question at Olive Garden, In-N-Out, PA school, everywhere. Why does everyone ask this question, you know? You don't want to be like me, where during my first PA interview, I started telling them my whole life story, where I'm from, you know, my crush in first grade, and then fights and stuff that happened in football and sports, and this, and my car, and I went to college. No. When they ask you, tell us about yourself, you want to make this specifically focused on PA. Of course, you can throw in elements of your past, where you come from. You want to do that. Tell them, you know, where you come from, who, you know, your name, who you are, your age. But you don't want to make that the main focus of your answer. You want to just introduce yourself as a human being first and foremost, really quick, and then you want to divert and get straight into the meat and potatoes of this question, which is how you got here and why you're here. Oh, question number 5 is a hot one. This one is juicy. But before I tell you real quick, in the description below is my PayHip store. If you want to get more interview questions like this, I have 55, and my PA interview crash course guide in the link below. It's like 25-50% off. But here is the 5th question. What interests you most about our school? So this one is juicy, all right? You need to know your school, what separates it from the other programs that are out there. There's kind of like a tiered structure to answering this within my own mind. Of course, you know, you can go for something kind of basic, such as like, oh, I like the faculty to student ratio. Oh, I like how this program has a mentorship program where the PA students from the class before mentor the incoming PA class. So that's like tier 3, which is at the bottom of the pyramid. Tier 2 would be getting a little bit more specific, which I kind of talk about how to do in the crash course, but that would be like specific programs or partnerships that the school has. But if you want to get tier 1, you got to get that information from the PA students themselves. So for example, one of these great tips would be resources that the PA school offers. I didn't know this through any of my research online, through presentations done by the school. Even during, I did 2 interviews at the school I go to right now, and during both of those interviews I did not learn this information. I only learned this from a student right before my orientation week, and during my orientation week is when they broke down all this information. But it's the resources that my school offers to us as current PA students to succeed. One of these resources is a program called Osmosis. You can check it out, but it's kind of like a YouTube for scientific knowledge that relates to medicine, and especially, you know, PAs, MDs, nurses, etc. Along with that, they offer a whole host of things, half of which I can't even remember their names, but it's awesome to know that they are investing so much money and resources into me and my class to succeed, to learn the material, and be so prepared for our rotations, and even more prepared to when we graduate and we go out there into the real world as real PAs, so we can make a real difference and we can be excellent at our job and really make a name for ourselves for the PA profession. So if you can, get in contact with a student of that program, or, you know, just look online on the physician assistant forum or ask in the Facebook group. But you want to make this very specific, so get to researching this school that you're going to do your interview for, or schools that you will be interviewing for, hopefully, and find 1 to 2 things that really stand out to you, that you love about that program and that you are excited to be a part of if you get accepted, when you get accepted, because you will, because you did your interview prep and you watched all these videos. If you need more one-on-one help, just comment below and I will answer you. As well, check the description for all channel updates. This channel is still small, so use the opportunity and comment below what help and advice you need one-on-one from me. Thank you for watching me on PA Talk, and I will see you in the next one and how to help you get into PA school.